such an asshole.
Today's video is brought to you by two books that would prevented the education bubble and the financial crisis in your mind would be. One is Worthless, the Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major, which was written 11 years ago. And all you Zoomers and Millennials want to be, oh my God, I need to bail out. If you read that book, it was $12, I think, back in the day. And now you got $120,000 in debt. Ooh, Biden got it down to 110. Ooh, you're saved. Your life is saved. Honestly, we could bail you out all 100 if you had 120,000. You could get bailed out of all 120,000. The problem isn't the student loan thing. The problem is you're the problem. You're dumb, you're stupid, and you're lazy. So, you're the type who could win the lottery and be out of it in 3 years, and your life is over. Never mind. You're beyond help. The other one is How Not to Become a Millennial. That is where we take the millennial generation and say, okay, do you want to end up like them? And it's not an anti-millennial book. If anything, it's a very pro-millennial book. It is where we take the millennial generation almost kind of in a very Jesus Christ-like way. They died for your sins. But apparently the Zoomers want to be nailed up on the cross again, just like the millennials did. I'm going to make the same mistakes. I don't care anymore. Anyway, the books are down there below in case there's one or two of you that, like, quite literally, you don't want to piss away your life. All right. So it's germane to the topic we have today. Hi, Cap, longtime viewer on your YouTube channel, did a request a while back about internships. I'd love a viewer request so that I can always rewatch your video critiquing my English mistakes along emails. I don't know, is English your second language? So far, it's good. What I want to know is, should STEM and other useful majors be taking advantage of the upcoming student loan relief? I'm aware of your stance on taking the relief as being parasitic from other videos, but hear me out. For me, I just recently finished community college for my computer science degree, so I have a few $1,000s in loans. So this would wipe out all the loans for me. Therefore, I plan to take advantage of it. Furthermore, I recently got hired full-time as a software developer, making a handsome wage, located in an absolutely horrible state. Absolutely horrible state. I'm sorry. I would go there, get your year's experience, and get the hell out. And although I'm not legally of age to be consuming alcohol, I do plan to be saving up and hopefully traveling around sometime soon. In addition, I got a nice FU money supply that would last me a year and a half based on my current spending habits. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this topic, as it'll be somewhat of a reassurance that I'm leading my life in the right direction and hopefully be guided. All right, so let's talk generally about the moral, ethical considerations of student loan bailout. It is not my opinion. It is a fact that if you voted against student loan bailouts, basically, did you vote Republican? You did. You voted against it. Did everybody else vote? Did the majority then outvote you? And then they elected whoever it was, and they get to make the law of the land. All right. Did you vote against it? Then you are absolved of any responsibility of the rules and laws that are then forced upon you by which you got to play. All right. So if you voted against it, and in a democracy, society decided, nope, we're going to do it, you are a fool not to take the money. You're not responsible. You voted against it. That's what you did, right? It still went through, and now you are a fool not to take the money. But you are not responsible because you voted against it. You were against that thing. And they always do, oh, you take money too. You voted in. It is to your, I think even Anne Rand wrote this. I think people were giving her guff because she collected Social Security. It's like, well, yeah, I'm going to take the free money. If for any other Machiavellian reason, it's like, yeah, sometimes us not leftist socialist Democrat parasites, but yeah, we want give us some money too. Absolutely, you take the money. It's, did you try to stop it? That's all there is. Like, no, I tried to stop it. Okay, you're going to, yes, take it. The other thing specific to STEM majors, this would, if you would still be parasitic in my mind and ethically, if you voted left and you took, because you're just basically voting to take other people's money. That's all it is. That's what it is. But if you wanted another economic argument as to why STEM majors should take the student loan relief, dude, you're going to pay so much in taxes in the future. You might as well just take some of your money back. And that's largely what a lot of when a Republican or conservative, and even not then, when a productive person of society falls on bad times and temporarily needs assistance or some kind of charity, dude, given how much money they paid into the system, they're just getting their money back as far as I'm concerned. The Democrats, not all, of course, but I would say the majority of them never contributed into the pot in the first place. Oh, they say they did, but then they get way more out of it. Very few net taxpayers there are. They don't even have that argument. But you being an engineer or STEM major, you're going to pay so much in taxes, and not for roads or schools or defense or things that are universal goods that you're going to benefit from. But simple income transfers, paying money to the parasites, you have every right. I mean, it's going to be a drop in the bucket compared to what is. It's your money as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, there's your, and I'm not trying to give you excuses. I'm just trying to throw it down the plate as clearly and fairly as I see possible. But the main one, STEM major or not, did you vote against this? You did? It's Cappy, you tried, like let's say it was school and the students got to vote in what they wanted. You tried to vote in broccoli and healthy food for lunch. And other kids voted in pizza and ice cream. Well, now you got pizza and ice cream. And it's like, why? Are you going to not take the pizza and ice cream? Well, yeah, health-wise, it's not, but you might as well. You try to be healthy. Other people didn't. And because in a democracy, the majority forces the rule law on the minority, those are the rules you got to play with. Good. So the links to the books are below. If you love yourself, if you love your children, if you love a young person who's about to go off to college and you don't want to have a repeat of the millennials being like, I'm talking 40-year-olds. Please get them that book. I don't know. Honestly, do you want your life to suck? You don't? Well, then get those books and read them. And, not or, that great conjunction, and do what's in the books. Hey, super chats, what we got? Be strong, $2. Is Minnesota hot and humid in the summer? Yes, it can be. It's more humid than it is hot. And you wouldn't think humidity would play that much of a role, kind of like wind chill. Minnesotans are all just like, oh my God, we're amazing. It'll be like minus 20, but that's not enough for Minnesotans. Like I say, but with wind chill, it's minus 40. It's cold. That's all it is. It's just cold. The wind chill, you're not going to notice the difference. I mean, the wind's blowing in your face. That would annoy you anyway. But it's not any colder. The humidity, though, does play a huge effect. And it can get humid because Minnesota's just basically big swamp. Some of the prairies don't have that many lakes. Because of all the water, though, it gets very humid there. Yeah, absolutely. And it can make it miserable. So it could be like, say, 85 in Minnesota and humid. That is way worse than 100 degrees in Vegas or Phoenix where it's dry. And I've done both. Like you could do 100 degrees in Vegas because it's dry. Minnesota, I mean, they have great days. Oh, don't get me wrong. There's great days. It's not humid. It's 85 degrees. It's a Ferris Bueller's Day Off day. It's beautiful. But yeah, it can get very humid there. Very humid. Don't worry. That'll be the least. You're not going to complain about the humidity if you go there. If you live there, that's the last thing you'll be complaining about. Oh, wow. $20. Rian Schwarzer. $20. Hey, Cappy, 26, worked 2 jobs, graduated with 0 debt, majored in computer science, appreciate your work, enjoying the decline now, not bothering as much with the girls, and I've read all your books. Thanks. Well, thank you very much, and I'm sorry that you didn't get any student loan bailout money there. Here, let me give you guys, for those of you who worked hard, engineer or not, you're honest, you're a real adult, you did the responsible thing, and you paid off your student loans. You returned the money you took from other people. You're not a thief. It may anger you to no end that these worthless parasitic vermin, and that is descriptive. That's not an opinion. That's descriptive. are getting a student loan bailout or at least a subsidy. You do know that if you are your stereotypical one getting this bailout, which would be, say, a 35-year-old with, say $50,000 in student loans with a worthless degree, you could bail them out of all of it. You could give them UBI, you could give them free, you could give them their socialist utopia. It's not only that they won't be happy, they will be miserable because they're avoiding work, and work is what makes you a galvanized, interesting, fully developed, flavored, seasoned person that other people can fall in love with. And I mean, not only in a romantic sense, but a familial, brotherly friendship, familiar, that kind of thing. People will want to invest in you. And these people who are so lazy, they can't work a second job and go pay off the student loans and be responsible and not be thieves, that spills into their social life, their romantic life, their familial life, everything. And no one wants to hang out with them. In other words, their parasitic behavior is not just in their financial choices, it's in all of their choices. And this is why most people are not going to want to hang out with them. No one's going to want to invest in them in terms of investing their time, whether that be a career, an employer, a love interest, friends, and how good of friends can you be with someone who's just constantly jerking off to the traits they were born with, and the fact they dyed their hair a zany color and they got tattoos, and that they're socialists? I mean, a rock is more or just as interesting. And so I know it upsets most of you, but that's not going to make these people happy in the end. It's not going to make them content. And sadly, it's not going to make them human beings, or at least fully actualized human beings. This will it's all we did. Perfect analogy. And it's not even an analogy because it's actually quite descriptively true. All we did was give heroin addicts more heroin. That's it. We didn't solve it. We gave dependent parasitic people more money so they could continue to being dependent and parasitic. When just like a heroin addict has to give up the heroin, these people have to give up the government money and go work a job. And they'll never become sober. They'll always be under that influence. And you've seen heroin. Well, maybe you haven't seen heroin. You've seen drug addicts, alcoholics, whatever else. Are they happy? Look at all the people in Seattle getting all the free heroin they want. Any of those homeless people happy? People in government housing, are they happy? People on welfare, are they happy? If anything, you're probably making their lives a little worse. Like granting, you're just keeping them alive longer to suffer more. There you go. And that's, if I was really wicked, I pass away and I have my estate, I would just like buy a heroin. Be like, yeah, give it to him. Give it to him. Yeah, there you go. Keep it going, man. Free heroin. I'd open up a free heroin clinic in some leftist town. And then I'd invite all the socialists and Democrats like, hey, come here and try heroin. Free heroin day. Oh, it's free. Oh, my God. That's my favorite thing. I honestly think the only thing that's ruined more people's lives would have been feminism. I honest to God, that's about the only thing that's worse. Anyway, thank you for the generous $20. Generation of Powell for another generous $10 for millennials and Gen Z who think Joe is doing this because he wants to help you. No, he just wants to get reelected. This is just the parents giving their kids more ice cream. It is so childish and simple. Look up Biden. I have no empathy to see what he really thinks of your generations. He's just an old man who's bored. I don't know. I would retire. I would have retired a long time ago and spend time with my grandchildren or my cokehead son. Speaking of heroin addicts, have you seen Hunter? All the money in the world, all the connections, every advantage in life. There he is. And Generation of Powell, they're not going to care. He's giving them free stuff. What do they care? Doc, the Blue Wrench, 43 miles. Yep. Yesterday it was 102 degrees. Today it's only going to be 88. And Cappy's going to go to the gym. I did do a hike. Doc, are you ever going to come visit me, man? We can go to Caputo. We don't have to go do the fun stuff. We could go out to that middle of nowhere town you want to live in and go look at that not the elks. What do you want? The llamas. There's the llama farm out there. Or is it an emu farm? Free fentanyl for yeah. Like, why not a fentanyl program? I'm being deadly serious. I am sure with the mentally warped and effed up mentality of leftist politics, especially at the municipal level, like, well, hell, the federal level, didn't Biden like make heroin needles a thing? Wasn't that part of some large omnibus legislation? Why not? I mean, you really want to ruin lives? All right, promote feminism. That's one thing. All right, but you really want to get back at the left? I'd say take, yeah, I want to get as much fentanyl out into the streets as possible, or heroin, or whatever is a very life destroying drug. I'm no drug expert, but isn't fentanyl purified heroin? Oh, all right, there you go. So the links are below. There we go. We talked about you can major in the right thing and avoid all the mistakes, or you can become a fentanyl addict. I don't care what you kids do. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.